Phillies finally have a losing streak. And I say that, and it's not like I'm trying to be a negative Nancy about the Phillies. But now that we've actually seen some adversity hit our fightins, we can ask the questions on what this team really, truly needs. So we're going to talk about the Phillies a little bit today. Lots of Sixers rumors circulating. Paul George, Jimmy Butler again. We're going to dive into that. Eagles, always on the conversation. More names on my ultimate quarterback ranking list. Kylie Kelsey in the news. So much we could talk about today. Trend the AM. We're live. Taking your thoughts and opinions on everything going on in 60 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome one, welcome all to Trending in the AM right here on Edge of Philly Sports. We're live, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, you know the drill. Smash that like, share, subscribe, follow button, whatever buttons that are there, hit those buttons. It's free to do it and helps grow the channel and show so much. It means more to content creators than you imagine if you hit those like and subscribe buttons and follow buttons wherever you're watching. Subscribe, YouTube, follow on other platforms. Hit those buttons. It helps a lot. I'm your host, Phil Stiefel, every single morning here, except for yesterday, on Trending in the AM, right here on Edge of Philly. You can find me on all social media platforms at Bearded Knowledge. And we got lots to talk about today. What's Pat's favorite golfer? Well, shout out to my man, Patty Bernard, filling in yesterday for me. Had my monthly massive Amazon order at my pizza shop, so he had to fill in. The show, we'll find out if he ruined 3 years of hard work of growing this morning show in one day. We'll see if he brought it down in one foul swoop by letting him take over and host the show under the Fairway to Heaven banner instead of Trending the AM. It's all good. Shout out to Patty. Pat is the best. One of the hardest working guys over here at Edge of Philly. Guys, lots on the agenda today. Lots I want to talk about today. Lots I want to cover today. And as I said in the cold open, obviously the Phillies are finally losing some baseball games. They've lost 3 in a row, 4 of their last 5. And I'm kind of glad that they lost. So we're going to talk about that a little bit today. Why I'm glad the Phillies are losing. Lots of different Phillies things I want to get into there. Football related, Eagles OTAs again back on this week. Yesterday, not open to the media, but I think there's the one today or tomorrow is. Where's my OTA chart here on when the practices are? I have them written down here somewhere. Yesterday and then tomorrow and Friday are OTAs as well. So we got lots to talk about there as well. More names on my ultimate quarterback ranking list. How will I piss somebody off today? I don't know. We're going to find out. So we'll discuss that. We'll definitely bring up how fans treat their favorite celebrities and their celebrities' families, i.e. Kylie Kelsey. We will bring up that. Yes, we will talk Jimmy Butler. We will talk Paul George again. This is going to be a long, nauseating offseason for the Sixers. It really is. The Jimmy Butler, LeBron James, Paul George, Brandon Ingram, all the rumors every day something new from Brian Windhorst or this person or that person about what's going on with the Sixers. We got to talk about it, though. We've got to. When there's new rumors of Jimmy Butler getting traded for, and the Phillies will give him a max extension on top of whatever's left on his contract, we got to talk about it. It's asinine. It's stupid. It's not what it should be, but we got to talk about it. So all those things are on the agenda today. But I do want to start with Phillies talk today, and talk about why I am happy that the Phillies are on a losing streak right now. I know that sounds kind of silly. I know that sounds kind of dumb, that I am glad the Phillies have lost now 3 of their last 4 games. The lead in their division is down to, 5 games. So you've built yourself up the room to have a little losing streak. And as Luke Arcani from Fox the Gambler said on the show a couple of weeks ago, there are going to be losing streaks, obviously. This season is not just going to be, a cakewalk. We weren't going to go on and win every single series for the rest of the year. We weren't going to just keep dominating every team. It's a 162-game season. There's going to be highs and there's going to be lows. But losing now, and yes, that less than ideal teams that we're losing to, Colorado, and then, the Giants right now, less than ideal. And the San Francisco Giants, one of those things, we always struggle out there in San Francisco. And San Francisco's not, hell, our offense is struggling so much right now that even Spencer Howard threw, I think it was 4 shutout innings against the Phillies last night. That's how much the Phillies offense is struggling right now. But it's good because with this weekend, we could see the team do what they always do best and rally and pull together to get out of it. You got Christopher Sanchez going tonight trying to end that lose. But we can also more objectively look at the holes on this team, where this team needs to improve so that come July, when the trade deadline is here, come later in June, if you want to make an earlier in the season trade, that you know what this team needs. And what does the Phillies team need? What do we got here from Mike here coming in with the first comment? Keep stats out for now. Collectively, the outfield as a whole hasn't contributed offensively this year. Marsh may be the only one. And Mike, and there's 2, in my mind, there's 3 holes. But I'm going to power rank the 3 holes, Mike. I think the 5th starting pitcher, because the Taijuan Walker situation is a major question. But I think the outfield and maybe the bullpen, maybe a closer, are bigger issues. And it's interesting that you bring up the outfield as the first thing that you want to talk about. Because yesterday on WWWIP, they were making the solution. And I've seen scenarios like this out there before because of the fans' love of backups. That there's a portion of Phillies Nation that want the Phillies to move Trea Turner to the outfield because Edmundo Sosa, for the last week and a half, has been tearing the cover off the ball. And I think it's an awful, awful solution to what is, yes, a very big problem for the Phillies. The outfield is not. Marsh is playing okay. Marsh can't get into a groove because he can't see the field when a left-handed pitcher's on the mound. That's fine. Let's keep trotting Nick Castellanos, and he got his average up to $1.99 yesterday. Nick Castellanos has not gotten going yet. And I expect his numbers to level out. Just like last year, as always, his numbers leveled out where they always are, about 260, about 100 RBIs. Now, I don't know if he's going to be able to get to 100 RBIs now with the way he started the season, but he's struggling massively. Again, just like year 1 here in Philly. Rojas, Pachi, whatever you want to call him. Nobody could settle into the role in center field. Marsh, Whit Merrifield, whoever else he throws out there, Rob Thomson, in left field, can't settle into that role. Marsh has been good. Marsh has been great at sometimes and dreadful at other times. But you don't solve your outfield problem by putting Trea Turner out there. First off, I think 2016 was the last time he played outfield. It's a long time ago. And then by doing that, then you have created a scenario where Edmundo Sosa is going to get exposed as an everyday player. It's the same thing. Everybody was hyped that Cody Clemens. Yeah, 2 weeks ago, Cody Clemens was the hot name in Philly, mashing the ball. Everyone's like, put Bryce Harper back in right field so Cody Clemens can start every day. Cody Clemens has come back down to what he is: a good average bench piece, a rotational player, a platoon player. He would be a starter on a bad team. Edmundo Sosa is the same thing. In 2 weeks, his numbers are going to level out, and you're going to realize he is not an everyday player. And at least with Edmundo Sosa, he's 28 years old. He's been in the league for 7 years now. We know what he is. He's a good utility guy that can play all over. You don't fix a hole by creating another hole on a team. You go out there, and if you've got a problem in this outfield, you see what's in your minors with your young kids, or you go out and make a trade. And right now, if I'm Dave Dombrowski, while pitching is a concern, and I want to get everybody's opinion on what's a bigger concern, starting pitching or relief pitching in a minute. We'll get to that. My thumbnail for the show today, the big X over the no over Taijuan Walker. We'll get into that in a second. But you go out and you make it. And I kind of feel like one outfielder, whether it's a corner outfielder or center fielder, might be the biggest need. And we are a third away plus through the season. So this is not a small sample size. Everyone know baseball that a slump was coming. You can't exactly. But see, the thing is, I'm glad the slump's coming now. If we would have played at a 120 win, level for the first 4.5 months, and then hit the stretch of cold right in September, that's bad. You get some of your slumps out of the way now. You learn how to overcome them, because every year you've got to relearn how to overcome slumps, not let it snowball, not let it domino. But you also find out what those holes are now and how to fix them, Duck. And I think that's the key thing here, is that they now realize outfield is definitely a problem. And Trea Turner will be back very soon. Hell, if everybody is so keen on Edmundo Sosa being an everyday player, he could play the outfield. I think even last year he might have seen some starts or some innings in the outfield. Why would you take Trea Turner, one of the best hitting shortstops in baseball, and make him learn a new position? Like, you paid him $300 million to play in the infield, not to play the outfield. It's just a dumb idea. Yeah, Mike, dumb idea. I screamed all season for a right-handed power hitter setting fielder. People thought I was nuts. Look, I won it, whether it was a left fielder or a center fielder, because I think Marsh can play center field. If you went out and got a power-hitting left fielder, you could swing Marsh back over a power-hitting outfielder, period, okay? I think it's possible. Hell, you could do a power-hitting right fielder and slide Nick Castellanos over to left. Maybe he'd be a little less pressure over there. I just don't understand. Like, so I was okay with them trying to see what Rojas and Pache have. Pache's hitting under 200, just like Nick Castellanos. You've got two outfielders that are playing, one every day, one every other day, hitting below 200. Rojas, let me see, after last night's 1-0 10th inning loss, where Rojas's average is down to 237. So you got a 237, a 196, and a 199. 3 of your 4 outfielders. You gave it a 50-plus game stretch. Now you know Rojas needs more time in the minors. Now you know Pache's a back-end depth and piece, and that's it. Now you know you got to go out it and get it. And I would rank an outfielder, again, not pigeonholing it. It has to be center field. A left, right, you need an elite outfielder. Then you rearrange the outfield around it. You need that. And I think that is a higher priority on I love my lists and my power rankings and whatnot. If I'm power ranking this team's needs, that outfield position, number one on my list right now. And there's other needs, but yeah. Try to get Lewis Robert from the White Sox. The White Sox, there are a lot of names out there. To me, it's just the price to get every player. What's it going to cost to get a player? And I'm not saying I don't want to trade prospects. Every prospect's tradable for me, elephant in the room. If you don't know me very well, you haven't been watching my show for years, I've got a long-standing policy even before my content career. Very long-standing philosophy. Prospects are just that. Prospects, they are all tradable. Hell, I was ready to trade Andrew Painter last year for Shohei Ohtani. I will trade literally any prospect in the right deal. It's just I just like got to see the person, and you got to value the prospects based off of that person, how long they'll be here, et cetera, et cetera. But sure, I would have no problem with that. At least the first slump comes during the West Coast. Yeah, exactly. Last night's game, 10 inning, 1-0 game. Didn't start till 9:45. Brett, I think I watched 2 innings of the game, and I was out. No mas for me. I hate West Coast games, Brett, because he isn't that great of a fielder at short and has some experience playing the outfield with the Nationals. Never understood how learning a new field position impacts your batting. I don't know if it affects your batting, but it puts more pressure. And he's got experience. 8 years ago, 2016, he played like 30 or 40 games in center field. All right. But then who's playing shortstop? Are you, Fred? And this is not a knock. I'm just saying, are you one of the people that are okay with Edmundo Sosa as an everyday player? And I'm not. If anything, you let Sosa get into that outfield platoon. Put Sosa in left field and Marsh in center when Trea Turner comes back. That doesn't even solve the lineup question of what you do with JT Realmuto in that 2-hole once he comes back too. That's another question. I'm willing to trade Abel and Rojas for him to start. Yeah, Mick Abel, I'm over him. I know he's still got potential, but you got a lot of money locked up long-term in Wheeler and Nola, and you've got Ranger Suarez here for a while. You've got Painter coming back in a year or so. Abel's fine. Yeah, and Rojas, sure, I'll trade Rojas. We're not looking to win 5 years from now. We're looking to win right now. You know, that window, that World Series window with Acuna and Strider down for the count for the Atlanta Braves, the NL East is there for us. Even with this 4 out of the last 5 games of losing, we still got a 5-game lead in the division. So you trade what you got to get yourself the best pitching, the best outfielder prospect or not prospect, the best outfielder on the market in a trade, and you go out and you get yourself another starting pitcher, even if it's a rental. You go do it. What's up, TMZ? Hope you didn't miss me too much yesterday. Yes, the Pacers are done. Minnesota Timberwolves survived last night. Love Rojas. Don't get me wrong, but he's never going to be a bat like Robert who can provide protection for Bryce. Yeah, right now, like last night's lineup, the way Topper wrote it, Alec Boehm was on one of his, it was a scheduled day off for Boehm. He had Nick Castellanos behind Bryce Harper in the lineup. That ain't offering Bryce Harper any protection. I had a pizza order yesterday, big pizza order in the morning. Patty Bernard was here. He just logged in under the wrong show. So the show happened. It was just called Fairway to Heaven yesterday morning. That's all. Sosa, Sammy has got to be getting Sammy Sosa. Yeah. I met Sammy Sosa once at a blackjack table in Nassau. It was a kind of an awesome experience, to be honest with you. Good morning, Eric. Core 12. What is up? How are you today, my man? Is the Celtics the most boring team? I don't know. But I think the Celtics and and the Mavericks, when they eventually win that series, are the prototypical blueprint for what you do when building a team in the NBA. And I think you can learn a lot about who's going to be in the finals on how Daryl Morey should handle this offseason. Rumor has it Boehm may be banged up a little bit. Boehm has been banged up for a while, Mike. It's like a week or two ago. I was complaining about him being sitting in a game, and he's got a banged up hip, I want to say, and a banged up knee. And I definitely think you could see it not just because his batting average has dipped a little bit, and his hot hitting has cooled off, but also his fielding has been atrocious lately. There have been a lot of things going on with him lately. You can just tell he's not 100%. Not at all. And it's been like that for like 2 weeks. I think he got yesterday off. They said it was scheduled ahead of time, but I kind of feel like, give him a few days off wouldn't hurt. What color was Sammy at the time when you met him? He's like he was pushing that Michael Jackson status, for sure. This was about, I forget whether it was 03 or 04 was when I was working on cruise ships. We were in Nassau. We were at the I forget what it's called, that big resort, big pinkish orangish resort in the Bahamas. where they're gambling. They were filming a movie with Pierce Bronson and Woody Harrelson at the hotel that day. Tried to get in as an extra. I got kicked out. Long story there. But I sat at a blackjack table and Sammy was there. It was just a $25 blackjack table, and Sammy Sosa sitting there with his giant ass Rolex, buying shots, like high-end shots for everybody. Every time I'd lose a hand of blackjack, oh, yo, here you go. He would toss me a $25 chip. It was a really cool. I didn't even recognize him because Sammy Sosa looks like a monster on TV, but he's really small. He's really short. I mean, he's jacked. He's yoked, but he's a really short guy. He's not 6'9", 300 pounds like you think when you see him on TV. It was really cool, but his skin color was definitely in the transition stage, we'll say. Only player Morey should be back up the Brinks truck for is Kyrie. You're saying Kyrie Irving? Kyrie Irving. There's an interesting name for the Sixers. You can't get him because now he signed a 3 or 4 year deal this past offseason. But that would have been the move right there. Kyrie is, I mean, they didn't win last night, the Mavs, but man, that team is built well. That's why he wasn't bending on the ground ball. I think there's definitely some problems. You can see his form has resorted to almost like protecting his body when he's fielding ground balls. There's a knee and a hip issue, I think it is. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what it is, Mike. So I know he's protected himself a little bit. Exactly, Duck. This is a time you rest players. It gives you enough time to get them back in rotation to get warmed up. Absolutely. First third of the season's over. We know what we got. The second third of the season is maintenance. And then the final third is getting ready for the playoff run. If you can, break it down like that. Thirds, I'm writing this down. I like the way I said the thirds of MLB season. Needs power rank. Yeah, I got some notes there. If there's free time to tweet today, I don't know. Sammy Sosa in his glowworm face. Yeah, crazy night that was at that resort. That MLB money is for real. Damn, allowing strangers to play from your. Yeah. Phil would have hit it big if he got in to After the Sunset as an extra. So you remember the name of the movie? I just hit it at the movie, and you named it right away. I love it. Yes, I was actually in the scene of it, but I was extremely intoxicated in the scene, for real, not playing a part. And I made a fool of myself, and the director had a scream cut and shout, "Get that extra out of this hotel right now." I did sneak back in and get into another scene, and then they threatened to call the cops on me. So I didn't go for third time's a charm. But I did go back and watch the movie and the specific scene multiple times to see if I snuck into the final cut. There's a scene, it's a night scene where either Bronson or Woody Harrelson are drunk on the beach, and the other one and Selma Hayek are bringing them the drunk person back into the hotel to get them to their room. And that was a scene, and I was an extra walking by them this close. If I just was a little smarter and didn't make a fool of myself, I would have been in that movie. I'm sure people hated the Kyrie idea within the same way people are saying on the LeBron James idea, talking about, I don't want a clown show. We've been a clown show for years. Marshawn, I think you're spot on with that clown show part of that. I don't remember what I said about Kyrie Irving. I know we did a show about Kyrie Irving last year. And I know I disagree with some of his beliefs and some of his opinions, but the guy's a winner in the playoffs. He just is. One of the winners of the playoffs. Guys, we're talking Phillies, we're talking Sixers, we're talking Eagles, and we are brought to you here by SherryTickets.com. Great moments don't just happen. They happen with you in the crowd. SherryTickets.com is easy to use and has no hidden fees. The price you see is the price you pay. Pay less, play more, SherryTickets.com. Save even more by using the exclusive promo code EOP10. That's EOP, then the numbers 10 at checkout. Get you 10% off, and there's no hidden fees. Why would you use any other reseller? Go to SherryTickets.com, or if you need a more personal touch, call them 610-494-5050 and let them know EOP and Trending the AM sent you. Remember, don't overpay with the rest. Save with the best. SherryTickets.com, promo code EOP10. And right back to the comments. Phil is a method actor. Yeah, my method was getting smashed. I got drunk by playing blackjack with Sammy Sosa, and then I tried to get into a movie. That's two things that just don't mix. After the Sunset was no money train. No. I don't even remember the movie. I think it was something about like somebody was a cop, somebody was a thief. I don't even remember what After the Sunset was. I just remember Selma Hayek, Woody Harrelson, and Pierce Brosnan. That's it. I try. I try to be funny sometimes. Sometimes. If you were a real drunk, you would have tried to. I know, I'm a quitter. My dad always said, don't be a quitter in life. I quit after 2 tries. Sorry, my bad. Those faxes have foxes. Oh, I thought it said faxes. Glasses must not be strong enough today. Well, let me turn the glasses up a little bit here. Yes, we have chicken wings. Great chicken wings. We make our own wing sauces too. Woody Harrelson stars with some good-looking Latino women between Rosie Perez. Yeah, absolutely, Rick. I actually think Woody Harrelson is an extremely underrated actor. He doesn't have a huge like resume of amazing like Oscar-nominated movies, but every movie he's in is good. Every part he plays well. Like really, why would you care about someone's beliefs on your basketball team? I don't, and that's why I don't remember what I said whether I wanted Kyrie here or not. But I'm kind of thinking back at Kyrie when I'm talking about Paul George, when I'm talking about LeBron James and Jimmy Butler. I'm thinking in that aspect. That directly, clearly can't spot talent. He's probably related to him more. Yeah. I don't mean you, Phil, for the record. There will always be concerns, but I'm really warming up to the Mitchell-Maxey backcourt. I don't know, Marshawn, about Mitchell. I'm actually starting to warm up to the idea of Paul George in the sense of the Kyrie Irving, where it's a guy that's got some elite talent, and he's never played with a tandem like Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. I'm more thinking, and again, I'm thinking of the fact that Mitchell, Butler, those guys you've got to trade for. Paul George, you just signed. And if it doesn't work out, yeah, it kills your cap for 4 years, but you can trade him away if it doesn't work out. All these guys get traded anyway, or you just deal with it. The problem with it is, though, Marshawn, is I don't know if a third star is the way you build an NBA championship roster. In baseball, we're talking about the Phillies, and the Phillies got this massive payroll, and they got this amazingly talented team, but there is no salary cap, so you could bring in any star you want as long as your owner will pay for it. You can add Trea Turner. You could give Wheeler and Nola massive extensions. It doesn't matter. As long as your owner doesn't mind paying, it's good to go. In basketball, you got to think, you've got X amount of money. Do you want 3 stars and then a questionable bench and depth? Or do you go, I look at the Dallas Mavericks and the Boston Celtics. They both have 2 stars. Luke and Kyrie, Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum. And then they got an amazing, perfectly structured rotation around those 2 stars. You got all this money. And I don't think you're going to get them, but you go get the Caruso types of the world. You get the I'm drawing a blank because I didn't know we were getting to basketball yet, so I don't have that page up on my notes here. The dude from Johnson. I heard people mention him before. Keldon Johnson. You go out and get great depth pieces, not strong depth pieces, great bench pieces. You round out this team around Embiid and Maxey with strong players versus spending big on a star. That's what the NBA, 2 teams that are going to be playing for the championship. I know the Western Conference is not over. I thought it would be over last night. But that is what they've done. Dallas has got a perfectly built team to complement Luka and Kyrie. Boston has a they have a 3rd star payroll-wise in Drew Holiday, but he's just really the ultimate role player. Plays defense, can score, can run the team. He's not a superstar. We got to find our Drew Holiday type. That third person that doesn't mind being the third person. Paul George, Donovan Mitchell, LeBron James. They're all going to want to be the star. They're all going to want to bump down Joel and Tyrese. And again, Joel hasn't done anything to not be bumped down. I'll just say it. He doesn't have to be the number 1 guy. Or is Joel Embiid the number 3 guy? You go out and get a superstar to pair with Maxey, and Joel has to take a back step. I still thoroughly believe Joel Embiid could play at an MVP level, not as the focal point of this team. Just being 7'2", 285 pounds, you could play at an MVP level and affect this game defensively, rebounding, scoring underneath the rim. putbacks, whatever, you could. It's just not the way. I don't know if he'll do it, but just saying. So Woody was not dedicated. What was he not dedicated to? Unless you can unload 3 picks for Murray, Bogdanovich, and Hunter, that fixes a lot of our problems. Yeah, it also depends on what is available. We hear the rumors of the big names. We don't know the secondary names. But I think you've got to find great compliments. I think Murray could be the Drew Holiday for the Sixers because he's longer. He plays a little bit better defense than Maxey does. He can score now. He can do it all. He's long. He's lanky. He can run. Bogdanovich, a shooter. I've warmed up to that idea. I've warmed up to it massively. I'm a method extra. Yeah, something like that. Major League Baseball needs instant replay for strikes and balls. On a side note, this is a great comment because, we didn't do a show yesterday, and breaking news for yesterday's show would have been Angel Hernandez is retiring. Hallelujah. No more Angel Hernandez. I heard a rumor that he, was meeting with Major League Baseball, and they wanted him to retire because they thought he was going a little senile. So he stormed out and walked out of the meeting, but then he realized he walked into a closet and he just was stuck in there for 5 minutes. And MLB officials were just left him in there for 5 minutes. It was the most peace and quiet they had in the entire meeting. But Angel Hernandez no longer will be calling strikes and balls. Matter gets 2 challenge flags if he loses the challenge. I don't know about the conceding a run thing. We're getting to the point where there's going to be robot umpires behind the plate for balls and strikes. And there's just going to be a buzzer on the umpire behind the plate, and it's going to beep. And if it beeps on, one way, it's a strike. If it beeps another way, it's a ball. That is where we're going, mister, in baseball. Maybe the players tweet. That's why you worry about player. You want to talk? Yeah. I get it. I get what you're saying there. I do. Report says Sixers prepared to give Butler. And this is what got me into Sixers talk today, that this is the thing, that they want Jimmy Butler here and they want to give him an extension when he gets here. See, what I fear, Marshawn, is going to be the Sixers offseason. The fear to me is that they are going to do this. They are going to trade 2 or 3 first-round picks. They're going to get Jimmy Butler, and then they're going to extend him. And then they're going to also give a max extension, or not a max extension, a max contract to Paul George. They're going to go over the cap. They're going to sign him, then they're going to do a sign trade. They're going to get Butler here, and then they're going to find a way to bring in 2 superstars to pair with the 2 superstars we have, and then give Maxey his extension afterwards to go over the cap. This is how I feel like they're going to play it out. And it's either going to be awesome or going to be the biggest disaster of all time. But I'm here for it. I almost look at the Sixers now as entertainment. What disaster is going to happen next? You've gone from Ben Simmons to James Harden to Jimmy Butler to there's always some form of drama. And I kind of feel like that this offseason is going to amplify it even more. I want to jump down here because I was just talking about the umps. We'll catch up on comments. There's a lot of comments. Let's fire through these. I'll get to your Matty B comment in a second because I saw that robot ump thing on the side screen. And I know, and I'm actually curious about it. Phil, I'm going to need to drop that take. Yeah. The minor league has a good challenge. Yeah, they do. 76ers' best season was when they had 3 legit superstars with Butler. Yeah, they still didn't win. I agree with the 3rd-star take. However, we only have 1.5 stars on the team. 0.5 is how much games Joel plays in a year. All right, I see what you're doing there. I will have a great team if it means Irving. He thinks the earth is flat. The earth is flat is the least of his issues. Problem is Celtics, Nuggets, Mavs have been able to build their team by playing together with role players. 76ers don't have that luxury. That's fair statement from Brett. Absolutely. They've been building to this. They instead of star hunting forever and keep changing their star hunting, they just built, and they're patient. Is Michael Porter Jr. available? I don't know. I don't know if they run it back there or not, or they try to trade somebody. I'm not sure, Eric. Yes, please hit the like button. I'm not sure how many likes are on the video, but I'm sure it's not enough. It's free to hit that like button, guys. The Celtics have 7 or 8 players with 100-plus three-point made field goals. That's pretty crazy. Is Celtics the most boring team ever? They're going to win the NBA championship, so I don't care how boring they are. It was floating around that he is available. There's floating around a couple different options, so he might be available, yes. Phil Studio looking good. It hasn't changed since I moved in. No Eagles merch, no. But the best player isn't a superstar. It's Lauri Markkanen. But you're losing all. Yeah, I still love Lauri Markkanen. He's a perfect fit on this team, offensively speaking. A much big upgrade over Tobias Harris. So you go out and you trade for Lauri Markkanen, and then you sign some players. Maybe. Yeah, thank God Angel Hernandez is gone. I mean, there's a lot of bad umpires and referees in sports right now. There is. Thank God he is. And I know I hate to lose the human element by going to like robot umpires and stuff. I hate the idea. But when an umpire or an official or a referee makes the game about themselves, which is what Angel Hernandez and Scott Foster and a few do throughout sports, then they're a problem. When they're looking to get into a fight to throw somebody up, when umpires are looking for a TV time, that's the problem. And Angel Hernandez, we don't have to worry about him. I really think Angel Hernandez was probably forced to retire, honestly. His real life version of Frank Devin from, Frank Devin. I heard they're redoing Naked Gun. And I don't know if I'm excited or terrified. I think they said Liam Neeson is going to play the Frank Drebin role. And I don't know if I'm stoked for it or completely disappointed that they're going to either make a great reboot or destroy what is some of the greatest slapstick comedy there is out there in Naked Gun. Naked Gun 33 and a third. Naked Gun 2.5. They were going to extend Hernandez's contract, but he missed the call. Yeah, probably. I think of Angel Hernandez when he's walking into this meeting, the Joe Pesci and the Goodfellas, thinks he's going in to get made. He's going in, he thinks he's getting an extension, and then he looks in the room and there ain't nobody there. He's like, gosh. And he's done. Kind of feel that's probably what happened. Butler means you give up cap space and trade assets for one guy. Yeah. And that's the theory you got to think. Do you want to trade assets for an old guy like Jimmy Butler, older guy, and then give him a big deal? Or do you want to just sign Paul George? I still think Paul George stays with the Clippers. I don't think he's going anywhere at all. I think he's staying. I think all these Paul George things is just a leverage thing. The Clippers are trying to give him a 3-year deal like they give Kawhi. It's just not going to happen. Yes, Major League Baseball, we're working on the robot umps in the minors. Every batter has one challenge per at bat. If they're successful, they retain it. If not, so the robot ump, so there's still the regular ump calling balls and strikes, and the batter gets one challenge. Now, Matty B, I always see you writing up great articles on minor league, prospects and stuff. So my question is, how do they do it? Do they have like a buzzer, or do they have to stop the game and put a headset on? How is the robot ump system being used? I get the one challenge per at bat. If they are successful, they retain it. If not, they lose it. So they get one challenge. So then, even if they lose it, the next at bat they get another one. I like that theory. I just hope I'm assuming the way you're talking about it, it's not being used. It's not taking up a lot of time. And maybe I should do some more research on it and maybe watch some YouTube clips on it being used. I like this because you're still letting the umpire call the balls and strikes. So you're keeping some human element into it. I don't want to lose the human element to officiating. But if this is working out like this and it's not taking up a lot of time, I don't know why they're just not implementing in baseball. Baseball has spent a lot of time, and I don't know how you feel about it, Matty. You're an older gentleman. I always hate change in baseball because I love the tradition of baseball. But I've come to understand as the years go on, you got to modernize the sport. And if this is working in the minors, I don't know why it's not being used in the majors. I don't. I'm going with instant biggest disaster. Which one? Next year will be Embiid's first year without playing with either Okafor or Tobias Harris. Wow, that's funny. That's interesting. Morey will cap space is equal to a blindfolded toddler with a butcher knife. Man, we all know that robot umps will fix a major consistency issue with we know it's gonna fix things. I have no problem with it. 4-star's not going to win it. I agree with your take there that it is scary to bring Butler and George and not in a good way. I'm scared, but I almost feel like I don't trust Morey to do the right thing, which is to build the Mavericks team or build the Celtics team, Marshawn, or build the Nuggets style team. I already have come to the conclusion that the Sixers in Joel Embiid's era probably will not win a title unless they get damn lucky. So I'm here for drama. Drama creates great content, Marshawn. So if the Sixers ain't going to win a title, at least they could do is create great content for me. Create great show thumbnails and titles by the disaster that they are. Zero faith in Daryl Morey, and you know that I have. Phil, you're a globe earther. A what? I'm not a flat earther. Not at all. 76ers being used to get players more money from their own teams. Smash the like. Peace out. Hey, appreciate you, Mike. Have a good day if you're out of here. But yes, hit that like button. People don't understand how much it helps local small content creators and networks to hit that that like button and that subscribe button. It helps a lot. It helps. Don't touch my chains. Yeah. Angel Hernandez equals Frank Drebin. I mean, you forget Joe West who made the game. Oh, I remember Joe West. I do. Anti-GPS. What? What? You can't redo. They're redoing it. I'm not sure if it's a good idea or not, but they're redoing it. We'll see. I want line umps and I want an oversight plate ump. But the robo ump will call balls and strikes more consistent, which will help pitchers. And it'll help batters to an extent. Being forced to swing at things outside of the strike zone because an umpire's inconsistent. Be terrified. Remakes of goofy comedies never work. That is true, Brett. That is true. For sure. With Embiid's injury problems, I think an athletic 4 who can grab 13 boards a game is a way better fit than a stretch 4. You can still space with 3 guy on perimeter. Yeah. The OG Anunoby, the Pascal Siakam, those types. Years ago, I was pining for the Sixers to make a deal and get 1 or 2 of those Raptors guys here. They built a team full of 6'9" swing guys or athletic guys. Now they're all splitting off in the other teams. That's what you need. Now, OG will probably stay in the New York. I've already seen rumors that the Pacers are already planning on giving Siakam max contract, so those guys are out. You got to find guys like that. That's what you need to build a team. Go out and get me. Even if you've got to pay him, overpay him. Go find me the next, someone similar to OG Anunoby. A guy that can run, play defense, hustle, can score a little bit. A non-injury-prone Brandon Ingram. Go find me that. And pair that. That's what you need. You need rebounding. We need rebounding, no matter what. We need somebody that can grab an offensive rebound. How do you argue strikes and balls with a robot ump? Send it to it. So the minors, what they're doing, according to what they said there, so they still have a regular guy calling balls and strikes, and then you get to challenge 1 pitch per at bat if you don't like it. Probably some kind of like beeper on the hip, maybe. I don't know. I think Maddie said something already, so I'm going to get to that. Give LeBron the max once he opts out the summer. Some pickings out there. I'm not adverse to LeBron James anymore. I'm not. I don't like it, but it sure as hell be entertaining. I do want to talk about LeBron James again in a minute, but I want to catch up on some comments here. Robot ump is the challenge in tennis. They just quickly go to the computer. The robot ump in tennis works flawlessly. Doesn't take too much time. Brett, great analogy there. Great analogy. If Embiid was younger and healthy, that a stretch 4 is what you need. But now it's not the right call. Interesting thought there. Trump may be headed. Why would you even say his name? I thought each team had 3 challenges. In baseball, the manager has the challenge in MLB, but they can't challenge balls and strikes. Oh, you're saying the minors? I don't know. I'm going to learn about this right now. Every batter has a challenge per game, so only 1 per game, not 1 per at bat. Okay, 1 pitch per at bat. Bring it to MLB. It's CBA related. Okay, and I'm not sure when the next CBA is up, but okay, there you go. But they can always make changes to CBA. There have been changes mid-season, in off seasons, where they add things and change things to it. It's got to be ratified and all. But if it's working in the minors, I don't see why not. An OG Caruso off season, but the Bulls are stupid, so probably you're not going to get. Well, I think you're not going to get OG. I think OG is less likely than Caruso even. It works similar to current MLB challenge system. Okay. So when they challenge a ball and strike, Matty B, they still have to go to the camera and look? Or is there, like tennis, it's like super quick. We don't got to slow the game down. They just spend all this time speeding the game up. We don't want to slow it down. Without Danny Ainge, Hinkie, or Uricar in the Sixers front office, we're screwed. Throwing your own name in there. Okay, gotcha. Could movie people maybe write a new movie? I know. No, we got Beverly Hills Cop 4 coming out on Netflix, which I'm all okay for because I love me some Beverly Hills Cop. Got to make up for Beverly Hills Cop 3. How does Sixers show toughness when the biggest player beat is always flopping on the ground, 7'2", 300 feet for no reasons? Look, I don't know. It's the way of the NBA, the flopping. Hate to say it. That is just what the NBA is. It's a flop city. Everybody does it. Every game. Saw Luka doing it last night. Saw Kyrie doing it. Saw Anthony Edwards doing it. Marksman, 8.3 rebounds a game, 39.9% on 8 threes. You know, I saw something about Paul George that he's the best high volume 3-point shooter because he takes almost 9 threes a game. It was like 8.8, and he makes like 40%. Paul George actually would be that guy, at least for 1 year, as a high volume 3-point shooter, just so you know. They will write whatever's asked. Executives refuse to take chances on new things. Nostalgic is it's a moneymaker, nostalgia. It really is. VAR in soccer. I don't know what VAR is in soccer, Brett. Enlighten me. Robot ump in tennis makes the game better, and the players don't even bother fighting the call. Yeah, exactly. The umpiring or the replay in tennis is flawless. Execs never accept new. Yeah, no, they don't. Brian James has 2 preferred teams. This is something that is driving me completely up a wall. Who in Bronny James's camp? Over 10 teams have asked to work Bronny James out privately. But he has said, no, I will only work out for 2 teams, the Phoenix Suns and the Los Angeles Lakers. He shouldn't even be coming out of college. He shouldn't be in the NBA draft. Now he's going into the NBA draft, and he won't work out for teams. I don't get this. Okay? The LeBron James family is doing their son, Bronny James, so wrong in my opinion. Just my opinion. C3PO will never being calling balls and strikes. Sorry. C3PO. Oh, okay. I got you. Where would R2D2 be up in the booth? Yeah. We're making it takes me a second to get Star Wars references. Star Wars. I think it's Star Wars. Not a huge Star Wars guy, if that explains it. Now I have a segue to the NFL. Why in God's green earth would the NFL Players Association negotiate the deal now and not wait until the new TV? Yeah. What I'm confused about, it was something that came up. I was prepping for yesterday's show, then I didn't do a show yesterday. The NFL is talking about doing away with OTAs and just having a longer training camp. And I don't know if it's a great idea or a bad idea. And I haven't even been able to come up with an opinion on it. I love OTAs. It gives us something to talk about in May and June. But the pros, I'm curious at what the pros are for the players and the team. More time straight together before the season. Better or worse for the workouts and stuff. I don't know. That is something that's kind of sticking in my mind that I'm not sure about just yet. Guys, speaking of NFL, would you like to go to Brazil to see the Eagles play the Green Bay Packers week 1 of the NFL season? Then go check out my friends at phillysportstrips.com. If you are a Philly sports trip fan or a Philly sports fan and you are not traveling with the best to see your favorite team, then you're doing it wrong. phillysportstrips.com features premium travel and tailgating experiences for the best fans, period. Philadelphia. Self and full travel packages for any of your teams. Phillies, Eagles, Flyers, Sixers, Union. Day trips, week trips, weekend trips, whatever it is. Go to phillysportstrips.com. Sign up. Let them know EOP and Trending in the AM sent you. Do not forget, Philly Sports Trips has this great package. But if this is too much for you, not too long. We're about 2 weeks away. They're going up to Boston for a little trip to see the Phillies play the Red Sox. They got a day trip down to Baltimore to see the Phillies take on the Baltimore Orioles. And, of course, for the 4th of July, they got this great 4-day package out to Wrigley Field to see the Phillies take on the Cubbies. By the time and the money, that would be the trip for me. So go check out phillysportstrips.com. Sign up today. Tell them EOP, Trend in the AM is where you saw them and heard them. And right back to the comments. And there's a lot of them missing still. Phil is trying to get away, but I will keep pulling him back to football. No, football's on my agenda. I had 3 things written down to talk between today and tomorrow outside of the next names on my quarterback list, which is right here, ready to go. I had Nakobe Dean's name written down. I had OTAs going away written down. And, of course, I had the Kylie Kelsey situation written down to talk about today. So, yeah, there's lots on the agenda football-wise. Like baseball, then don't put robots in. They're just trying to modernize the game. I knew what you meant with marksman. I knew you meant marketing. I knew it. I watched the first Terminator pretty good. Good for you. Good for you. VAR checks if players were on sides and if ball crossed goal line. Okay, quick checks on computer like tennis. Okay. Well, yeah, if it's the same as tennis, then I like it. Quick and easy, painless. Jokic and Giannis never flop. They go up strong every time, and they both have championships. I disagree because Giannis likes to push. He might not flop, but he pushes off a shit ton, just so you know. So the push-off is just as annoying as the flop, and he gets away with the push-off all the time. And he travels a lot, too. It's a classic, even though the second one was better. Oh, the Terminator. Yeah. He only works out for 2 teams, and they pass on him. Like, seriously. And I don't buy the narrative that LeBron will only go where Bronny gets drafted. Because if he doesn't get drafted by the Lakers, he ain't going to play on the Detroit Pistons if they draft him. He's not going to play with the Charlotte Hornets if they draft Bronny. And it doesn't matter who you work out for. If you get drafted, you get drafted. Plain and simple. And a team might take a chance even without working Bronny out because Bronny will equal ticket sales. Bronny will equal money. If there's a team, a franchise that's struggling financially, drafting Bronny James equates, at least short term, some money. Ticket sales, jersey sales, advertising sales. So there is a reason to draft Bronny. The LeBron family is like the Lancasters of Game of Thrones. I never watched Game of Thrones. They run the NBA from behind the scenes. Gotcha. 3 preseason, 18 weeks, 2 bye weeks. Someday. By the way, I always say don't mess with Kylie Kelsey, and I'm surprised that. Yeah, look, that Kylie Kelsey video. If anything stood out to me the most in that, wasn't the exchange between Kylie and the lady. And supposedly a few people have found out who that lady is, but they're not releasing her name because she's got kids and stuff, and they don't want to embarrass the kids. The thing that has stood out to me the most in that video was Jason Kelsey in the background, like, yo, my wife's got it. I don't even got to step in. I bet you Jason Kelsey is scared of his own wife because she is a firecracker right there, a personality. Never want to disappoint that. Yeah, man. So, guys, be kind to athletes and athletes' families. If you ask for an autograph or a picture and they say no, they're busy or they're whatever, then just say, okay, sorry, go Birds. Don't hound them and get in their face. When you see them eating, wait till they're done eating. If they're getting in the car, rumor is she went up to the Kelsey's car and was banging on the window. Like, yo, they don't owe us anything. Now, they are in the limelight. They do make badillions of dollars, and that comes the autographs come with the fame and the fortune. But have some respect. Now, if you came up to me and asked for an autograph, I would be shocked you knew who I was. So sure I would. But I ain't a Kelsey. What? Who cares about the damn UFL? I liked a longer training camp to get rid of the OTAs or make the OTAs voluntary. We'll show which players are dedicated. Yeah, for sure. Phil, how? Now that UFL expanding, if they bring back Philly team, where can they play? There's lots of places they can play. Wants a longer time off after the season because they know the 18-game schedule is coming. That could be. And I'm thinking players, if every team has like broken up, like the Eagles OTAs this offseason. I had the dates written down here. Hold on. I just went back to it. Here it was the 20th and the 22nd, 23rd. So they went one day, then a day off, then 2 days, then 4 days off, then 2 days off. then 2 days, then 3 days off. So just having it all just an extension of the training camp gives the players a longer offseason or a more consistent offseason. They can plan their family vacations and different things that they do in the offseason a little bit better and not make it look bad when they miss, a voluntary OTA, I guess. That's the first thing that thought in my head was the scheduling of it. Yes, we get the Stars back. I will actually go out there. Maybe, yeah. Honestly, yeah, I probably would watch them. Don't ever Seinfeld me again. No soup for you. Giannis bulls over people, and Jokic is a jump shooter. Reasons they don't get as many free throws. Yeah. Any suggestions on where to have them play in Philly? I mean, they could play at the Link. Why not? I'm sure there's other stadiums around, but I don't think the Link would make sense. Not a big basketball guy, but I see Bronny do things. He's not a good basketball player. He might be someday, but he is nowhere near ready for the NBA. Not even close. Porzingis kept himself off the 76ers. I'm sure Bronny and LeBron will get him to somewhere he wants to go. That's true. It's true, Brett. It's true. I want to know how good you think Terminators are. They're good. It's just not my style of movie. I don't know. I mean, Terminator 2 is better than Terminator 1, obviously. They're good movies. If they're on, it better be the last. It's a last resort to me if it's on TV. It's just a movie. It's not to me. Terminators don't have massive amount of rewatchability. You can see it 2, 3, 4 times, but that's it. You're not going to watch Terminator 75 times. That's just that. Does that sum up what I think? They're good, but they're not rewatchable to me. Let me get Robert and Kopech. I would give up a nice package for that duo. Back to the Phillies. Yeah. The one thing you can understand, one thing, elephant in the room, is that Dave Dombrowski, between now and whenever the trade deadline is this year, they got pushed back, right? It's like July 31st now, because there's no waiver wire trade deadline either now, is that Dave Dombrowski will be excessively active. I expect 2 big name pieces brought in here, whatever they are, reliever, starter, outfielder, whatever. And I expect maybe even bench additions to be made. I think Dave Dombrowski, I don't want to say definite, but at least 2 or 3 of our top 5 prospects will be gone before the deadline. That's what I think's happening with the Phillies. That's my opinion. Has a football stadium. Yeah, UPenn has a football stadium that's smaller. They could use that as well. The Karen's husband did a good job of getting her away from Kylie. Yes, seems like he's had practice. Yeah. I mean, that's his fault for marrying her. We're just going to call, since we don't know her name, we'll just call her Karen. Not drank enough of that coffee yet, so I really got to suck some down. Kylie would have treated that woman like Barkley did to fans in the old days. Dude, my brother, there's for the Delco people, Drexel Line Shopping Center in Drexel Hill, where the Streetlight Kitchen and Bar is near, where we went a couple weeks ago for the Phillies live broadcast. There used to be a food store in the Drexel Line Shopping Center. My brother, back in I guess it would have been early, mid-'90s, worked there. And he used to tell stories about how Barkley was in there a few times, and he'd get chased out by old ladies and fans wanting to get, autographs from. Temple has been trying to get a stadium built for a while to not have to pay $1.2 million in rent. Yeah. Only new team I want is an WNBA team. I agree. I think it's odd that such a big media market like Philly has not gotten a WNBA team yet. Really odd. Yeah, exactly. That is true. That's true. They can come use the Kennett High School football field. They put lights on it, 5-10 years ago. Sure. Would you watch Cool Hand Luke more than twice? I don't know if I've seen Cool Hand Luke once, so I don't know. Drexel Line is a big-ass shop right now. Yeah. I didn't even know the Drexel Line Shopping Center wasn't there until I went to the Streetlight Kitchen and Bar a few weeks ago for the EOP live broadcast. Okay. And because I was talking with Big Al and the guys there, that I was hoping to maybe swing by behind the Drexel Line Shopping Center, behind one of the stores. I think it was underneath the B&S shoe stores where you had to get your patent leather shoes for Catholic school. Okay, that's the only reason we ever went to B&S. New shoes every year for school. Okay, at Holy Cross, there used to be an underground billiards hall behind and underneath that shopping center, and I got hustled for the first time there. And then after that, I did a lot of hustling in that shop in that pool hall. All right, a lot of hustling in that pool hall. I tried to start Cool Hand the other day, slowly starting. Bronny is like a Dollar Tree Jalen Springer. James Springer's playing in the NBA Finals, so leave that as it is. Anyway, guys, it's that time of the day. I hate to say it, but it's time. Bronny James needs to hire David R. Cherry from the Cherry Law Firm. If you've been hurt at work in a motor vehicle accident, personal injury, or affected by criminal law, which I think Bronny James is being affected by criminal law, the way he's being treated by his family, call David R. Cherry, the Cherry Law Firm. Cherry Law Firm is here to fight for you and get you what you deserve. They're a dedicated, well-established personal injury law firm built on the promise of aiding the seriously injured in the state of Pennsylvania. Give my man David R. Cherry a call for any legal advice, 610-565-0300, or go to cherryinjurylaw.com. Let David R. Cherry know you heard about him right here on Trending in the AM on Edge of Philly Sports. Again, 610-565-0300, or go to cherryinjurylaw.com. I love to say .com. I don't know why. .com. And here come all the cherry bombs in the comments. Boom, boom, boom. Love it. You guys just never give up. Likes Uncle's Phil with pool. What? Don't forget the fan store that was there too. I don't remember the fan store. I remember the B&S shoe store. I remember the billiards hall, the food store there. That's what I remember. That's all I remember. I get it. Yeah. I got my own Lucille. That's in a special case over there. All right. I hustled a game of pool. Long story short, this was back in college. I hustled a game of pool. The guy could not afford to pay me. He made a bet that he couldn't. So I took his $500 pool cue off of him. And I still got it to this day. That's over 20 years, and I got a special. The case alone that I got is a $200 case. So just so you know, I didn't need Lucille to hustle that guy. But now I got my hustle over there. Yeah. I did my thing back in the day. Did my thing at pool halls back in the day. Missinelli. What about Mike Missinelli? You think David R. Cherry is Mike Missinelli? I don't know about that. Sports players. Yeah, yep, absolutely. Guys, Cherry gets so much love in this. I know. It's crazy. It's crazy how you guys love that ad read. Guys, you are watching Trending in the AM right here on Edge of Philly Sports. I am Phil Stiefel. We got Phillies on the agenda today. Sixers rumors, Eagles, OTAs, Kylie Kelsey, you name it. In 5 or 10 minutes, we will release a few more names on my quarterback top 32 list this year. But make sure you do me that favor wherever you're watching. Hit that like, subscribe, or follow button and share button right now, please. It's free to hit those buttons. It's free. Help us out. We passed 13,400 subscribers on YouTube. The amount of help that those likes and subscribes do, you don't understand. It's free to do it. So please help us out there. You'll never be allowed in this town again. The Karen has now been banned from Havertown and Seattle city limits. Yeah. This lady, Karen, why does Karen think she is going to get Kylie Kelsey banned from Seattle City? Who is this Karen? Who does she think she is? It's the most ludicrous thing I've ever heard of. Ludicrous. Is the seal the pool cue on? Yeah. I know it's BB King, so I'm a huge BB King guy. We're getting off on a random tangent here. My favorite CD I have ever bought. I don't have CDs anymore. I don't even have a CD player. But the CD I bought that I played so many times was a CD. It was a live concert of BB King and Eric Clapton. It was a 2-disc set. I played that thing so many times in my car. And the BB King, Eric Clapton duet version of Bell Bottom Blues. Brett. Amazing. We'll just say that. Also, BB King was a huge fan of Fox's Pizza in Kennett Square. when he was performing at Longwood Gardens about 10, 12 years ago, maybe 15 years ago. I don't even remember. He was staying at the Hilton Garden Inn in Kennett Square, and he ordered for delivery. And I thought it was a joke when he said, "Oh, when we deliver to a hotel, we always get a room number and a last name because people mess up their room numbers all the time." And he's like, "Oh, my name's BB King," and I just laughed. This guy's got a fake name because he's hanging out with his side piece in a hotel in Kennett. But no, my delivery driver came back with a handful of pics and autograph stuff. I'm like, "Who's that? What is it?" He's like, "Oh, this is the guy in the room." I'm like, "Was it really BB King?" He's like, "Who's BB King?" I'm like, "Are you kidding?" He called back and ordered more wings. He said he loved them so much. So BB King was a big Fox's Pizza fan. If it's good enough for BB King, it's good enough for you. If LeBron forces Bronny on an NBA team and plays with him, is he officially the GOAT? No, I think he's a bad father. Like, I've got some really weird feelings about the LeBron James, Bronny James situation. That I think he's being forced into a lot of things because of his dad's dreams. And LeBron James does so much fantastic stuff community-wise, fundraising-wise, charity-wise. He's the most recognizable NBA player since Michael Jordan, second greatest basketball player of all time. But I'm questioning with the way he's pushing or forcing Bronny into things. I am. I have a case of my 200 CDs in my basement. I did find my CD case when we moved. I just don't know how to play them because I don't have a CD player. And I don't know which ones work and don't. BB King, huh? Is Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles there too? Dude, Ray Charles, Stevie Wonder, legends. The Ray Charles, Billy Joel duet, Baby Grand, another extremely underappreciated, underrated duet of all time right there. Well, actually, they're right here. Yeah. Phil, did you deliver the second? No. So I didn't find out. So my delivery driver didn't hand me the stuff till the second delivery was over. I'm like, he gave you all this after the first delivery? He's like, yeah. I'm like, and you didn't know who it was? He's like, no, I have no idea who BB King. It was like a dumb high school kid. Had no clue who BB King was. I was like, and I still didn't believe it. I'm like, it must be a fake person. Then I Googled and I saw he was at Longwood Gardens performing that night. I was literally ready to just run to the hotel with more wings, even though he didn't order, just to meet the guy. But I didn't. Moral of the story, never besmirch the name BB King. I think BB King is a legend. One of the greatest of all time musically talented guys. I love him. Watch the We Are the World documentary. Amazing how many great talents. I've seen clips of that for sure. Absolutely. It's fantastic. All right. Moving on today. Is it that time? Is it the time to do what everybody comes here to see? My daily addition to my 32. We're calling it the ultimate 2024 NFL quarterback ranking list. The ultimate one here. Okay? And as a refresher from Monday, this list is starting to fill in. I'm going to complete this at the end of this week. We've been doing 3 names a day. I'm not sure if I'm going to do 23, 24, 25, or 16, 17, 18 today. But we're going to fill this in. And by the end of the week, I'm going to confirm today Friday's guest. And if that confirmation happens, then we will start Friday's show by completing the list and then going to a very, very special guest that I'm trying to get on for Friday. I'm 98% confirmed on him. I don't want to announce it till I got it. Some of you might know him. Some of you see interview. We're going to deviate from the basic sports talk with this interview when he comes on. I'll talk more about mental health stuff. The last day of Mental Health Awareness Month. We're going to talk about his network and his work and how positive he, like me, tries to have a positive spin. No cold, hot, crazy takes. He's a gambling expert, a DFX expert. He's a former lawyer. He's cashed in the World Series of Poker. He's a who's who in the sports content world. One of the best on XM Radio. Win Daily. One of the best. So I can't wait to get this guy on here on Friday. So stay tuned for that. But we will finish this ranking by Friday, no matter what. There's no thinking about it. BB King is and will always be a blues and music legend. Absolutely. Maybe the best. We got to get to Dolan's Bar in a little bit here. Store. I bet the special guest is BB. Prince. Yeah. No, that's not my special guest on Friday. All right, guys. Where's my list? Here's my notepad here. I have actually made some changes. Not to what's already been announced. Well, I agree. I may have messed up the Kirk Cousins, Geno Carr, Kyler Murray threesome there. Kirk Cousins should probably be 19. Kyler Murray should probably be 20. Geno should probably be 21. I messed up, maybe even 22. I didn't mess up that batch. I agree with the opinions of people. I probably butchered it. I love the story of Geno Smith. I overtook that a little too high. Maybe I messed this up a little bit in that section. But outside of that, I'm pretty confident in every other name and where I've placed them so far on this list. So I think we're going to go 4 names today instead of 3. Because I got 3, 6, 9. I got 12 names left. There's only 3 days left of the week. So I think I could do 4 names today. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do 17, 18, and 24, 25. I'm looking at who I got at these spaces. No, we're going to do 17, 18, 23, 24. I think that's what we do. D. Jackson Shady said Jalen let them down last year. Did they? Interesting. He did let everybody down. Doesn't mean he's not a good quarterback. Oh, yeah, they're trying to get clicks. Yeah, they're trying to get clicks. They're trying to build it up. There's a difference. Hold on. You know what? If we're going to talk Jalen Hurts for a second, we'll get the quarterback list back up in a second. There's a difference between saying Jalen Hurts had a down year or Jalen Hurts let us down last year than trying to say that Jalen Hurts is not a good quarterback, that Jalen Hurts is overrated, that Jalen Hurts has done nothing. There's a big difference. And I haven't listened to the interview, so, Duck saying that they said positive things about him, that's a good thing. That means that they see it what it is. He had a bad year. Well, he had a bad 6-week stretch because let's not forget, Jalen Hurts was the betting favorite to win the MVP week 11 or 12. I forget. We were 10-1. I don't know if that was post-bye, so it was 12 weeks. He was the betting favorite to win the MVP last year. So he had a bad 7-week stretch, let us down. Still doesn't mean he's not a great quarterback. Well, there's only one elite quarterback elephant in the room, Patrick Mahomes. And then there's a group of quarterbacks from 2 through about 9, 10, 2 through about 8 or 9 that are really good quarterbacks. I think I'm not giving away any of the names in the top 10 that haven't been listed. We're saving the top 10 for Friday, okay? The rest of my top 10. All right? But between Joe Burrows, Lamar Jackson, C.J. Stroud, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Brock Purdy, Jalen Hurts, the distance in that you could put any of those guys in any spot of a top 10 list after Patrick Mahomes, and there's an argument to be made. There's a very small window in difference between 2 through 10 in the NFL, in my opinion. Now, I would say there's 2 windows in that. There's the 2 through 5, and then there's the 6 through 10. And I think there's certain guys that belong in the top 5 and certain guys in the bottom 5 of the top 10. But I think there's an argument made to put any of them anywhere. It doesn't make him a bad quarterback. It doesn't make him not great. It's just there's only one elite quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. And that's the thing. Take Patrick Mahomes out of the league, and then you've got arguments on 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, and who's elite and who's not. But because Patrick Mahomes is in the league, he is in a league above himself. So if you're going to use the term elite, you can only put the term elite next to one name, and that's Patrick Mahomes, because there's nobody in the NFL right now even remotely close to Patrick Mahomes' level. Yeah, Shady D. Jackson, much different. They've actually had success. Chris Sims is living off of his papa's name. No lies detected from Shady. You are allowed to expect great things. Yeah, as long as you understand that he is still a really great quarterback. He just had a 7-week horrendous stretch. Now, how long do you think Fields will take quarterback 1 from Russell Wilson? Well, let's just give that one. Let's give that one out. I'm going to write it down so I know who I'm picking. I'm going to give you where Russell Wilson. So I did Russell Wilson and Justin Fields hyphenated on this list. Okay? Because I don't know what's going to happen. I still think Russell Wilson has some left in the tank. And the way Pittsburgh runs a very blah, basic, control the clock offensive style. They're not flashy in Pittsburgh under Mike Tomlin. I think Russell Wilson could take Pittsburgh to the playoffs. I don't know if they will. Toughest division in football, probably. You got 4 playoff teams in the same division, so I don't know. But I think Russell Wilson plays the whole year. Justin Fields sits, learns, takes a step back this year, and then next year takes over that team in Pittsburgh. I don't think Justin Fields is that great of a quarterback. I think he's better than some of the other guys, but I think the Russell Wilson, Justin Fields team on my top 32 ultimate quarterback ranking list, I've got ranked number 18. 18. One above Mr. Kyler Murray. 18 on Russell Wilson on my list. Just so you know. 2 years ago, only Patrick Mahomes was better. Absolutely. But Patrick Mahomes is on a level unlike anybody else. There is nobody on the Patrick Mahomes level. We got it. It's not sensitive that we are, Eric. It's great content for me. I want y'all to be sensitive. I want you to be upset when there's disrespect. It creates great content for me. After the late 2000s to mid 2010s, there hasn't been a group of elite quarterbacks. I can agree with that. I mean, well, Tom Brady, a group. Okay, so there hasn't been multiple elite because Tom Brady was elite for a pretty damn long time. But yeah, isn't this Philly? It is Philly. Yeah. You don't survive in Philly if you are sensitive to criticism. Soft people move to New Jersey and cry about being denied. That's so funny. I love it. I love what you did there. I do. I love it. Dude, Ben Simmons yesterday. I got an interesting. I got to get back to this quarterback list. We've only done one name, Justin Fields at 18. But I asked a question yesterday on Twitter. Is Ben Simmons on the Mount Rushmore of off-season hype videos and pictures? There's more Instagram and social media posts of Ben Simmons in the lab circulating yesterday, him working on his shot, him working out. Like, Ben Simmons needs to keep playing in the NBA just to cover his social media and camera team, his video team that follows him everywhere to take professional pictures of him working out and taking shots. If you had to do a Mount Rushmore of people that are hyped up in the offseason that never actually succeed or play or do anything in the regular season of any sport, period, Ben Simmons has got to be the first name on that list. Now, I don't know who else. Let me see if I can find the tweet from yesterday, because I don't even know if anybody responded with answers. I can't even remember. I think there was one or two names commented on it. Let me see if I can find this tweet from yesterday. You guys might get some bonus time. We're really running out of time. Cowboys fans are on that delusional list. I thought I had this. There's my first thing, a delusional comment. That was about Dak Prescott, but I thought I had a different poll. But he is definitely on the Mount Rushmore of overhyped offseason, mental fortitude, a little bit of the want and will, of course. Offseason Ben Simmons is next level and a legend. He's right there next to Nick Foles. Yeah, absolutely. At the beginning of his career, Joel had hype videos, but he's a bit better than Ben. Well, yeah, everybody does the hype video here or there, but no one has had so much hype videos and pictures and then done literally nothing. Nothing. He is literally the greatest off-season athlete of all time. There's nobody. I'm looking at my quarterback list. Any quarterbacks have excessive hype that they don't deserve? Maybe. I don't know. Dak, I guess. Justin Herbert's just always got the hype. But, I don't know if I really see many off-season hype videos in the lab working. There was videos of Justin Herbert circulating from OTAs because he's just got a haircut and he's just going to be so much better this year. But Ben Simmons is the captain of the Mount Rushmore of overhyped athletes. All right, back to this quarterback list. We've already done Justin Herbert. and I just gave you number 18 on my list. So then we're going to go number 23 on my list, okay? And I know I've crushed this guy a lot, saying I think he's going to be a bust. But there is no denying he's got talent. Okay? He's got quarterback talent. It's whether the situation, excuse me. The question is whether the talent will translate, whether he's mature enough, whether the organization has grown enough. I still got my Fairway to Heaven background. Let's get the Fairway to Heaven background off there. Back to the trending in the AM background there. There we go. Caleb Williams, rookie, number 1 overall pick, is my number 23 quarterback on my list. And I debated with him in a couple different spots there. But so right now we're adding number 18, Russell Wilson, and number 23, Caleb Williams to this list. And I'm going to do one more in a minute here. Ben had Mamba mentality in the hype videos for sure. Playing in the gym versus, 45-year-old dads. Tebow back in the day. There were actually a lot of hype videos about Tim Tebow working out back in the day. But you ain't going to hear me ever say anything negative about Tim Tebow. I love Tim Tebow. I am the one that started Tebow Mania. I actually take credit. People don't know this. This is before my time. Big time on social media. I said Tebow Mania on Twitter. This is before I hated the guy or couldn't stand the guy, because hate's a strong word. I don't hate anybody. Couldn't stand the guy. But literally, Skip Bayless liked my Tebow Mania tweet. And then he went on, when it was still called Cold Pizza, and said Tebow Mania running wild. I didn't get any credit for that, but he liked my tweet and then used it on his show. Tebow Mania running wild. I love Tim Tebow. Dak in Dallas will never be better than a playoff quarterback. Yeah. I'm high on Anthony Richardson if healthy. Well, let's give you my Anthony Richardson rating, okay? We'll give you that one, okay? Because I added Russell Wilson at 18. Caleb Williams is a rookie at 23. Anthony Richardson, who wasn't a rookie, but he only played, 3 or 4 games last year, I think is hype. Problem is that the injuries, and we're going to this year, we don't have much on him. I got Anthony Richardson at number 25 on my list. Okay? 25. So 18, Russell Wilson. Caleb Williams at 23. Anthony Richardson, 25. I have a feeling, Brett, when I do this ultimate list next year, and I will do this next year again, that Anthony Richardson might be in the top 20. I have a feeling he's got that kind of potential. So I might just give you 24 too. We'll round out the bottom of the list. If I give you 24, that means we've got everything in the top 18 completed. All right. So I'm going to give you 24 on my list as well. And 24 is another one of those slashes. I said Russell Wilson / Justin Fields. At number 24, I got Jacoby Brissett, but also Drake May, the rookie he's taken over for. But Brissett, I actually think Jacoby Brissett is an excellent back-end quarterback. He does good things fantasy football. He runs. He's always bouncing around. But I got Jacoby Brissett at number 24 on my list. On this list. So we've just filled in 4 spots. That means we've got 8 left. 18, Russell Wilson. 23, Caleb Williams. 24, Jacoby Brissett. 25, Anthony Richardson. I think there's going to be some Colts fans crushing me for that Anthony Richardson at 25, telling me I'm stupid for not having him higher. Barbara, what's up? Simmons was loved and protected by many apologists while he was in the Sixers. It was only after the Atlanta series. Look, Barbara, even after the Atlanta series, I stood up for. I will firmly admit that I was so damn wrong on Ben Simmons. So wrong. Plain and simple. Even after the Atlanta series, I blame the Atlanta series loss on the fact that Danny Green got hurt for the series in game 1, I believe it is. And I still firmly believe if Danny Green was still in that series, that Ben Simmons situation wouldn't have happened maybe. And we would have won that series, and who knows what would have happened. But it took me a long time to really turn my back on Ben Simmons. I saw the athleticism and the potential there. The guy had every amount of ability to become one of the great NBA players of all time. a bigger version of Russell Westbrook. But he just didn't have it up here. He was coddled his whole life. Never was told he was wrong. How can you even put a rookie quarterback that high without a single? I know. The Caleb Williams thing is going to upset some people. But somebody, I couldn't have all rookie. I mean, I got multiple non-rookies at the very bottom in Bryce Young and Will Levis. And I got to put Daniel Jones at the bottom. Listen, other rookies and Daniels and McCarthy are down there. So, yeah. Caleb Williams, there's no doubt he's going to be a talented quarterback. It's does he have up here? And is the Bears organization going to give him time to develop? Good dude, one good pass. Hey, that 80-yard touchdown pass to beat the Broncos in overtime, or beat the Steelers with the Broncos in overtime, that's a legend. I actually think his comeback that year against the Jets, where he literally carried on his shoulders the team, literally and physically carried defenders to score a winning touchdown. Tebow should have gotten a chance. He didn't do it flashy, but I think Tebow could have had a winning career in the NFL if a team just didn't care about 5,000-yard passers. Just wins. Because the guy has a winning record as an NFL starter. Just say. What's up, Steve? Florida Tebow was a time to be alive. Absolutely. His speech after his loss his sophomore year, I will make sure we never, and he didn't go on, he never lost again after that. After he gave that speech. It's the power of positivity. Doing whatever it takes to win. I never care about stats. All I care about is wins. And Tebow did it. Absolutely agree with this. He never did anything to deserve it. He did. He never hyped himself. Everybody else hyped him. Absolutely agree with you. 1,000%. Every rookie quarterback should be packed into 32. All right. But then that would mean I'd have to get Bryce Young ranked higher than the rookies. And I think Bryce Young might be the worst quarterback in the NFL. If he didn't get injured in the bubble, I'm convinced he would have morphed into offseason hype video Ben. Yeah, maybe, with no fans in the crowd. Richardson has physical tools, but need more than 4 games. Yeah, it was a 3 or 4 games, whatever. It's just out of the top 20. He's shown he has talent, just needs to be molded a bit. He just needs more experience. 4 games, 3-4 games. Richardson is as inaccurate as Tebow as a passer. He can run, though. He's fast. I don't know if we can judge Richardson yet really that well. Steve Jacoby is definition of serviceable backup quarterback. Yeah, he's a serviceable backup or a serviceable placeholder till your rookie is ready. I like Jacoby Brissett. I've wanted him as the Eagles' backup to Jalen Hurts for 2 years. Everyone loved Ben Simmons. He has a crap ton of talent. Then we finally saw he was soft as sharp, my man. For sure. Ben Simmons made me sick. Side with Doc. Yeah. We should drop a Ben Simmons diss track. Yeah, we can do a whole show now. It was funny. Tebow tried to be a tight end. Yeah, that didn't work out. Williams is going to have the same career that every quarterback has had in Chicago after McMahon. Yeah, that's the thing. Caleb Williams is in a bad situation, so I don't know. I would actually put him in the top 20 just on pure talent alone. Tebow had to be that good guy since that Hernandez thing too. Will Williams have a better career in Chicago than Rex Grossman or Jay Cutler? Sexy Rexy from the what was Spurrier's offense called? Made Rex Grossman a star. Jay Cutler was a good solid quarterback. Jake the Snake. Jacoby would be a great quarterback. I absolutely agree. And he just gets paid well. Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. With that being said, final sponsor of the day. We're going to hit a little bit of overtime today. Can't help it. Dolan's Bar. For 65 plus years, Dolan's Bar has been servicing the great Ridley Park area, 24 East Sellers Avenue. Great food, great times, great drinks, great memorabilia giveaways. They are the quintessential Irish American dive bar in Ridley Park. 65 years. My pizza shop's at 16 years. 65 years. Check them out. 24 East Sellers Avenue, Ridley Park, right off of I-95, south of the airport. Tell PJ, EOP, and Training the Aim is where you heard about them. DolansBar.com or follow them on Twitter, X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Dolan's Bar. Guys, don't miss them. And make sure you guys, I'm going to take this shared screen off there so you see my pretty face to close out the show. 7-day-a-week programming here at Edge of Philly Sports. Later today, 12 o'clock. Check out my main Shane on the Shane page, with Jimmy Page, Shane Half. Check him out 12 o'clock. Their pre-recorded episode is already uploaded in the StreamYard. It'll be there. Don't miss it. 7 o'clock, Philly Press Box Radio. I'm sure they got a great guest, Chet and the gang. They always do. Edge of Philly Sports Live, Big Al and Company tonight at 8:30. And, of course, Fightins Finals, after night's Phillies game, Chris Sanchez trying to get the Phillies off their losing streak. Will they? I don't know. Facing a pretty solid pitcher there tonight who's had a really good season so far there in San Francisco. Of course, all the Irish things would love that. Tip jar is open and links below to my PayPal and Venmo. You're more than willing or happy to do that. Rex lost the Super Bowl just like Hurts. Sexy Rexy. I don't know why he was called that, but Sexy Rexy, just because it rhymes. Bad situation. Bears have more weapons than a lot of teams. Yeah, they do have some. I just don't think they give teams patience. They're not patient enough. Need an overtime game winner Saturday, 1 p.m. on ABC. PLL. Utah Archers at your Philadelphia Wooder Dogs. It's not Woodter Dogs. It's Wooder. 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 But Muffler Mike with that. That's the Lacrosse League, the NLL, National Lacrosse League, for those that don't know. Union tonight versus Toronto. You'll be covering it down there, but I won't be watching because I don't have Apple TV, and I ain't paying for Apple TV. So my love of the Union that was slowly growing is gone. I could probably, well, it's on ABC. I can watch the Philadelphia Wooder Dogs this weekend, but I can't watch the Philadelphia Union. Actually, I got to write that down. Union versus Wooder Dogs. That is a problem right there. That I can't watch the Union, but I can watch the Wooder Dogs. Guys, we got to wrap it up there. Trend in the AM right here on Edge of Philly. I'm back, baby. I had a one-day hiatus, but I'm back. Tomorrow, we'll get back into this Phillies. I want to talk about the lineup when Trea Turner comes back because of JT, how great he has been. The longest hit streak as catcher in Phillies history, JT Realmuto, is currently on. He's gotten hot in that two-hole, and you'd hate to bump him out of the two-hole. But what do you do with Turner? So we're going to talk about that tomorrow, plus whatever happens with tonight's series. I will confirm our guest and announce it tomorrow if I can. We didn't really talk Taijuan Walker, but we'll continue talking Taijuan Walker, how god-awful he is. More Sixers rumors will come out today. OTA stuff will come out. We're going to talk it all. Hey, thank you very much to Barbara. Thank you very much to everybody. Hit that like and subscribe button, everybody, please, and thank you. Thank you very much. Cheers. Gracias. I meant to show off my cool coffee mug here. I didn't get this. My wife's, but I stole it today. It's a Jack. But on the black side, when you pour your hot coffee in it, a whole entire, Jack scene pops up on the back of it. It's hidden in there. I love it. It's really cool. With that being said, we got to wrap up this show today, guys. We'll be back tomorrow, 8 a.m. More names on the list. Who knows what will happen today? But I will see you guys all tomorrow. Make sure you check the replay of Fairway to Heaven from last night, Jason and I, especially the opening of the show. Even if you don't like golf talk, the opening 10, 15 minutes of last night's show, which is linked on the YouTube page here. You can find it, Fairway to Heaven. It says RBC Canadian Open. We covered a lot of mental health stuff because of Grayson Murray, who committed suicide, professional golfer, this past weekend. We talked about it, how our athletes need more support and less problems. Guys, I really recommend it. Me and Jason really dove into it a little bit there. So if you want to listen to that kind of talk there, that is there. Thank you very much, Elephant in the Room. Muchas gracias. You can take Apple TV sub off your taxes because you're yeah. I already take a lot off my. It's just a write-off, right? I don't know what write-off is, but I can write it off. Oh, I already write a lot off. I don't know what it is, but I write it off. If you can write it off, Duck, IMAX write it off. Guarantee it. My YouTube TV subscription, because I plug in on my laptop my YouTube TV to my TV at the pizza shop. YouTube TV is a write-off, for sure. Guys, everybody have a great day. We'll be back tomorrow. I am Phil Stiefel. This is Edge of Philly Sports. This is Train the AM. Go Birds. Ring the bell. Bubbles up.